Basically, when I arrived on the project 4.5 years ago, Jonathan, the creative director, showed me a PowerPoint, and there was a big red button with a finger. It meant we wanted to connect the player with the world, and from there we started to build and build and build. There was no even shooting at the time. It was just a character, cars, the city, and that was kind of the starting point, and it became Chicago. It became what it is today. We intended to, but we challenged ourselves to focus on connecting. So by not having distractions in a way, and not having a lot of these mechanics, we really focus on those gameplays. How can connecting with the world, with the character, with the car bring to this game? And from there it kind of evolved, and we added a lot of mechanics, a lot of activities. We didn't really know, the end point. We just kind of, as we went forward, we iterated a lot. The way I see Watch Dogs, it's today. It's a contemporary game, and if you had a problem, like a big problem in the world you live in today, how would you solve it? You would solve it with the vehicles. You would solve it with navigation. You would solve it by using stealth. But we added technology. We added this element, and technology applies over all the gameplays. And you're right, it's a challenge because people, they have a lot of gaming experience. Shooting is very effective. So they come in our game and they want to shoot, but that's not Watch Dogs. They can if they want to, but hacking has to be efficient. So slowly teaching them, and especially exposing the hacks and making it easy for them to learn was a very, very challenging but rewarding goal in the end. Yeah, there's definitely a range in which the enemies are threatening. So if you're pretty close, they will be very lethal. It's also part of the fact that we wanted hacking to be effective. So for people to think that way, there has to be a bit of a challenge. We have difficulty settings that we can adapt, and it's a challenge because a lot of players are very different. Some will like a harder challenge, some don't really are into that. So we try to make a game that's scalable, but in the end, you have to fear a bit the AI for hacking to become important. So it's definitely an element that we took into account. We didn't want the profiler and this information to be gamified. We didn't want, it would be easy for us to say we give you a bad point of reputation or a good point, but that would take away the player, reading the situation and making a decision. So we didn't go that route. We're more saying no one will know that you did it, but you read it and you feel bad. I had one, even myself, after like 4 years, I had sleeps in his car, and I genuinely felt, I felt a little bad to hack the person. So by removing the game aspect, we wanted it to be more a player choice, and I think it creates a meaning in our game, and I think it's better overall, I think, for Watch Dogs to let the player live it and not tell the game you're optimizing the game by getting points. I think it would remove the morality aspect of it. People want to be heroic, they want to be good, and then there's obviously a few people that they want to be bad, and it's okay. Aiden Pierce he's a bit gray, and he's essentially a vessel for you to express yourself, and having a kind of an anti-hero angle to him, it gives that freedom to the player. Do you want to be like a good Aiden Pierce that's protecting the innocent, or do you want to be the more aggressive? You're at home. It's really your game. You do whatever you want. So that's the angle we took. It has the same base as the city connectivity is. We wanted to connect people, and we're trying to break the single-player, multiplayer wall, and we hope actually in the future we're just going to stay online. And having people come in lets you live the fantasy that you're actually empowered with. You can hack anything. You can see through cameras and navigate the network. You can get all this personal info, but if you don't live it, it's not as strong. So by having people there that can have these abilities, it creates that paranoia, if you want. So I think it adds to the experience. And also in terms of gameplay flow, you don't need to quit your single player to go to multiplayer. And everything you gain in multiplayer is used in single player. So experience points, weapons, so all these things just help you continue and progress naturally. It evolves so much, but in the end the goal was to create a non-lethal gameplay mechanic. Because if someone comes in your game and his goal is to kill you, we knew that could be very, very frustrating, but having a game dynamic where you play together and it becomes a hide and seek. So you're right, there are some similarities, and it created a very interesting, cat and mouse using the profiler and trying to hide, and then a chase between players. So we went basically straight away from the more PvP violent for people coming in your game. So it was, I guess, less frustrating, for globally. The game never changed. I mean, at the time we did not know the targets we had to reach. The next gen wasn't even announced, so we were just pushing gameplay quality, trying to create a unique minute-to-minute, second-to-second game experience. And it just moved forward with all these components and all the hacking. And as we added more and more, all these things just evolved. Obviously, we didn't have everything back then. It still progressed quite a bit. So I'm really happy with what we are, but in the end, it's the players that will kind of decide if they like it. But we try to be different. We try to bring something fresh in the gaming with Watch Dogs.